This is Power of Voice. I'm the host,徳田顕人. Today we have a special guest, an American-born professional operatic singer from Texas, currently working in Vienna, Austria, Volksoper, and many other occasions. Rebecca Nelsen, thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you. It's nice to be here today.
So we just recently went to the La Traviata in Proserpina. It was superb. We were so touched. So how did you feel about the performance?
Well, I absolutely adore the role of Violetta Valerie. It's one of my favorites to sing, and I've been fortunate enough to get to sing this role all over the world. I've sung it in Vienna, obviously I've sung it in Venice, I've sung it in Dresden at the Tempelhofer. And it's just a piece that every time you sing it, you learn something new. And it was a really beautiful performance, actually, the one that you were at. I feel like Violetta's an old friend. When I sing her, she's somebody that I know intimately. And so, as I said, every time I sing the role, I find something new about her. And this particular performance, I was just so touched by the duet with Alfredo Jamont's father, Papa Jamont, and sung beautifully by Gustavo. The depth of the sacrifice that she goes into willingly is so profound when you realize he is the only person that she has in the whole world.
Right.
And she gives him up. The way that Verdi creates this music that perfectly states what she's going through, her struggle and her internal dilemma, it's breathtaking.
Right. Yeah, normally I would go, after the performance, I'd go to the artist exit to say hello to you, but that night I was so sad, so I couldn't say, went home, but he was so good.
Thank you.
Yeah.
In this case, it's a compliment. People say that I made them cry. I've actually heard that quite a lot, specifically about Traviata. I think the most touching part of the entire opera is actually at the very, very end, when she thinks she's going to live. And she feels that the pain that she's in has gone away. And this actually does happen when people are dying. This euphoria comes over her. And she thinks, okay, I'm going to be all right, I'm going to live. And in that moment, she dies. And that is just so absolutely heartbreaking.
Yeah.
And I think the happier that she is, and the more hopeful she is right before she dies, the more tragic. Because you realize that she's not ready to die yet. She's not ready to let go of this life, and it's being taken away from her by this horrible disease that has no cure. And I think that's why it's also still an extremely topical piece. We lose people every single day who aren't ready to let go yet. And I think this is why Traviata goes to the heart of anyone who sees it, because we don't live in the 18th century anymore, we don't live in this world with this strange moral codex, but we do live in a world where we lose people too young, who aren't ready to go yet. And I think that's why there's such a universal appeal and a universal impact of Traviata on the public, aside from, of course, the incredible music.
Right. Yeah, personally, I am 39, but actually 2 years ago, my classmate from the university passed away from cancer. So it's so, same thing.
Exactly.
Yeah, we lose people. Yeah.
And it just lets you know how transitory this life is as well. And I think that is something that we need to be reminded of.
Exactly. It told me lots of things. Actually, what I'm doing, this Power of Voice, this activity or project or job is motivated. One reason is my loss of this friend. Yeah, because life is so short.
Yes, exactly.
So if you were passionate about opera or vocal music, why don't you work on it? Yeah, otherwise you just waste your life. So exactly.
Congratulations.
And thanks. Yeah.
Really a good
just personal experience. 10 years ago, as a hobby singer in Tokyo, I performed with professional singer as Giuseppe, servant to, I think it's servant to Violetta. Right? So 10 years ago, I was Evo doing a little bit for Violetta in Tokyo, and now, 10 years later, I'm talking to the old Rigoletto in Vienna. So, yeah, look what happened. Just imagine. Yeah. Okay, so this interview is intended for mainly general public. So, we'd like to know, how did you decide to become a operatic singer? What made you decide?
It's actually an interesting story. I wasn't somebody who dreamed of being an opera singer as a child. I grew up with fantastic music. My parents had a weird rule that we weren't allowed to listen to pop music when we were children. So we listened to classical music and we listened to jazz. Those were the things we were allowed to listen to. I mean, my father was a professional jazz musician, so that probably had something to do with it. But because of that, we were exposed to very high-level music at a very young age. We had no idea who the popular musicians were when we were growing up, but we knew Bach and Beethoven and Mozart and Haydn and Vivaldi and Verdi. Those were household names for us. That being said, I was a trumpet player. My twin sister was a clarinet player, and we were both fairly serious. We started playing very young. And I didn't see myself as a singer at all. I saw myself as a trumpet player who sang occasionally. I liked to sing, but I didn't see myself as a singer. And it was my senior year of high school, and I was in a very large regional youth symphony orchestra called the Lubbock Youth Symphony.
Okay.
And they had a concerto competition every year. And as part of this concerto competition, everyone who was a principal, that means you were the first chair of your section, had to compete. And the reason for this was they didn't just want violinists to compete, because we had incredible violinists. And they always won. So I was the principal trumpeter, and so I had to compete in this concerto competition. And I didn't want to, because I knew I wasn't going to win. And, when you do a competition for concerto, you have to memorize the concerto.
Yeah.
And I didn't feel like doing that since I knew I wasn't going to win the competition. And there was just a part of me that had this wild hair and said, well, they said I had to compete. They did not say how. And so I came up with this crazy idea. I had never seen a professional opera in my life at that time. You have to remember, I grew up in Texas, and I didn't grow up in a part of Texas that has an opera. So,
which city?
Lubbock, Texas. Has a lot of wonderful things, no opera. The next professional opera that is professional all year round, I would say, is the Dallas Opera, and that's 5 to 6 hours away, depending on how you drive.
Okay.
So I had this insane idea. I had seen The Phantom of the Opera, which is not an opera, obviously.
The name includes opera.
It includes opera, but I liked to sing along with Think of Me and the coloratura at the end of Think of Me. I thought that was very nice.
Right.
It gave me this romantic idea of Paris and this opera house that I envisioned in my mind, and I thought, okay, I'm going to sing an aria from an opera for this competition. And I'm a little bit of an overachiever, so I went ahead and scheduled a voice lesson so that I would learn properly when I competed. One voice lesson. And I went, and the teacher beforehand gave me a list of arias, and of course I chose O mio babino caro, because first of all it's one of the most beautiful pieces ever written, and secondly it's only 3 minutes long. I refer back to my previous point of not wanting to memorize a concerto. So I studied the aria, I learned the aria, I went into the competition. The entire jury was extremely confused when I showed up without my trumpet. They said, Rebecca, have you perhaps forgotten something? I'm totally proud of myself and say, no, I'm going to sing an aria from an opera. And I competed, and I actually won the competition. And the prize for the competition was to get to perform the piece with the full orchestra at one of the biannual concerts that this huge youth orchestra had, in a full concert stage. And I was still the principal trumpet of the orchestra. So I remember it was totally insane. We played Capriccio Espagnol, which is not an uncomplicated piece for the principal trumpet. And I played the trumpet solos for that piece, and then I put my horn down and walked behind the stage and walked in front of the orchestra and sang O mio bambino caro. And again, I still didn't think of myself as an opera singer at that point. I thought I was a trumpet player who sang. But unbeknownst to me, the voice teacher who had given me my voice lesson I knew that he was a professor at the university. I did not know that he came to the concert, and I did not know that he brought the entire vocal faculty of the university to the concert. And I was actually planning on majoring in petroleum engineering. Petroleum engineering, Texas. And so it was a very specific type of engineering.
Right.
And they basically convinced me to become a vocal performance major that day. So that's how I ended up becoming an opera singer. Very strange roundabout trip, but a wonderful decision and something that I'm so happy that I did. I'm so happy I was too lazy to learn a trumpet concerto. Occasionally laziness pays off. Weird story there.
Yeah, amazing story.
Yeah.
And then you studied singing in Texas.
I started in Texas.
Did bachelor.
And then I finished here in Vienna.
MDV.
At the MDV, I had a Fulbright scholarship.
Okay.
Which I wouldn't have been able to make the transition to Europe without. I have a wonderful family. My parents were both school teachers, and they had 7 kids. So you can imagine there weren't a lot of extra funds laying around for me to go gallivanting off to Europe and try to be an opera singer. So the Fulbright scholarship for me was the only way that I could have possibly come to Europe and done any kind of studying that then laid the foundation for me starting my professional career here. And I'm extremely grateful to the program, to the chances that it gave me. To Jane Bell, who was the advisor for the Fulbright scholarships at my university. Hi Jane, if you see this. And to my German teachers who helped me as well. I learned German as my opera language. We needed to learn an opera language. Okay. And I actually, it was the kind of same story that I had with the opera singing. I didn't want to learn German. I really didn't. My first choice was French. And French didn't work out because it met at the same time as the university choir that I had to go to get my scholarship. And I needed the scholarship, so I said, okay, French is off the table, I'll do Italian. Italian is a beautiful language. They didn't offer enough Italian to fulfill the requirements. And so I was like, all right, German. Because there was no way I was going to try to learn Russian. So, yes, I started to learn German and I fell in love with it. And the reason I fell in love with it was because I had a very good first semester teacher. That makes all the difference in the world.
Exactly.
Wanda Merchant, hello if you're out there. She was an absolutely fantastic professor, and she spoke German with such a beautiful accent. She's American, you wouldn't know it to hear her speak German. But she started out her very first lesson by reading us a poem in German. And yeah, good. And it's, you know, when you grow up in the United States watching American cinema, you have a certain mental image of what the German language sounds like.
Yeah.
And it's not a particularly nice one.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden I heard this beautiful lyrical language that was so poetic and actually quite soft. And I fell in love with the language. And I continued to study it. I took as many classes as I could. I also voluntarily studied German literature. Because it made such an impact on me. And that was instrumental in getting my Fulbright scholarship, which again set me up for a career in Europe. So it's interesting how these things all line up. The fact that French didn't meet at a time I could take it led to me being here.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah, I also strongly feel German. I thought, 20 years ago, I thought French is very good. Now I think German. Really beautiful.
It's an extremely expressive language.
Yeah.
They have a word for everything. Really for everything. There's so many words actually that only exist in the German language, and we try and come up with an approximation of what it means. an example would be Schadenfreude. This is not a translatable word, but it's an incredible expression. Waldeinsamkeit. This is a word that doesn't exist in any other language. And the poetic power of the German language. You read these incredible texts. Goethe, when you read Schiller, it goes deep into the heart of what it means to be a human being.
Yeah, my German is not so advanced, but I sometimes sentences and I try to translate into English, but sometimes it's impossible.
Almost impossible.
Yeah, there are many differences, like sometimes gender, sometimes cases.
Well, yes.
Yeah, but it adds some nuance. So
yeah, absolutely. I can definitely recommend. There's a very hilarious essay by Mark Twain. He actually loved the German language, but he, of course, being Mark Twain, makes fun of it in his essay, and it's called The Awful German Language. And you definitely should read it, it's extremely funny.
Yeah. So, something about visual side. As an opera singer, I think we have wore lots of different kinds of costumes. What are some most favorite?
Oh wow! That's actually, today I did a Throwback Thursday. Can I show you? I did a Throwback Thursday pose of a dress that I got to wear a few years ago in a production called Limonen aus Sizilien, which is a very interesting piece by Tonjan. And this is the dress. You can see that. It had about a 15-foot long train.
In meters?
About
4?
2.5.
2.5?
Yeah, maybe 3. Yeah. So.
Wow.
Isn't that nuts?
It's
Yeah. And beautiful velvet gown. Heavy as all get out, but it was so beautiful and had a wonderful impact. The costumes that we had actually for this musical that we did at the Volksoper, because occasionally I do sing musicals, Vivaldi, that was an extremely interesting set of costumes. I had a matching wig for every costume, and it was sort of Rock Me Amadeus kind of aesthetic. So powdered wigs, but punk powdered wigs. With extremely colorful dresses and extremely interesting style. That was by Christoph Kramer, who's a fantastically gifted costume designer, set designer. He does a lot of wonderful things around Vienna, but also with Volksoper specifically. And he does balls as well. He's fantastic. Yeah, so those are definitely a few of my favorites. And let's see if I can find a picture of something from Vivaldi really quickly.
Yeah.
But it's interesting because a costume really can change how you feel. Well, how you feel on stage, how you move on stage, how you incorporate your ideas of who your character is. And this was very interesting when I got to play Marilyn Monroe. Actually, this was in Maryland Forever, also something like a production of Volksoper. And I'll show you the picture of Maryland because it'll come up first. Hold on. It should be right around here.
I went to the costume, used costume from Volksoper.
Oh, yes, the fundos, yeah.
And I bought something, I think it's for Zarastro. I bought a costume for Zarastro. And I was so...
So that's Marilyn Monroe. And then I'll show you something from Vivaldi.
Oh.
So, when you're wearing a costume like that, you can't help but feel like the character. And here's something from Vivaldi. Wow. So you can see that this is definitely very imaginative.
Yeah.
Extremely creative. And just fun to wear. So, not every costume is super bombastic. But obviously it's a lot
It's a great expression.
Yeah, well, I think that
it speaks.
Absolutely, you walk on stage and people are just like, wow. And those costumes that I brought up were definitely in that category for sure. So you have to realize when you stand on stage that for every person on stage, there are 50 people standing behind them. You have technicians, you have costume designers, you have dressers, you have all of the musicians in the pit, you have all of the lighting technicians, you have the people that make the little teeny tiny props that you deal with. When we have edible food on stage, we have people who cook that for us and put it on the stage. And none of what we do on stage would be possible without those people. And I always try to keep that in mind, that, it's tempting when you stand on stage to think that you're the show. And it's not true. I would be standing out there with nothing to wear in the dark, with no music to accompany me, if that was the truth. It's this wonderful, another German word, Gesamtkunstwerk, which means